Welcome back, Diablo gamers. It's me again, Concept Gaming, back with another useful video. Before we proceed with the topic today, I do want to say thank you to everyone who liked and subscribed and those who left comments on my previous video. It was really nice reading all your shared insights, experiences, and even your critics, guys. I really enjoyed reading them, and I hope we can continue this trend where everyone has the right to leave a comment, suggest builds. This is what I want. This is how our community should be, where everyone can freely express what they want related to the game. Before anything else, I want to say that not all builds you see on YouTube are for you. First, you have to question, what's his stats? What is he running with? What I mean by that is, even if you try the essence, the gears, the gems that they have, unfortunately this game is all about resonance. So if you're not going to be a big spender, then you're not going to be getting that damage that you see in their video. My channel is all about helping out those low spenders and free-to-play players, because I'm testing it for you guys, and before I publish it, I make sure that this can be helpful for your build. I'm not saying that the build that I have is the perfect one, but I want you guys to pick out some information of my build that you can apply to your build that can enhance further your gameplay. So without further ado, let's proceed with the topic for today, and that is choosing the best secondary gear for your Sanguine Barbarian build. Here are the criteria in choosing the best secondary gear for the Sanguine build. Number 1, I should get the highest damage output possible. Number 2, what are the conditions in triggering the additional damage? Number 3, the duration, or how long can I sustain that additional damage? And number 4, how does it complement the build that I have? These are the secondary sets that I have chosen for the Sanguine build. Number 1, I have 2 pieces Grace of the Flagellant because it increases 15% damage to all continual, channeled, and persistent ground damage. Number 2, I have 2 pieces Banquet of Ice because damage dealt to enemies suffering from your continual damage effects increased by 15%. So that's a total of 30 additional damage increase for this 4-piece gear. And the third set that I'm using is the new one, which is the Seeds of Sown Gold. The attribute for this set says, continually channeling a skill against the same enemy gradually increases the damage of the skill up to a maximum of 30%. Now this is really perfect for barbarians because why? We depend on our whirlwind, and whirlwind is a channeled skill. This is the best 2-set gear that you should have if you are a barbarian. Maybe you're wondering why I didn't go with the Vitus 2-piece set to get the increased 30% beneficial duration. I didn't go for that because now that we have 8 pieces of primary gear, there is a family tree that you can use to replace the lost beneficial duration from your Vitus. And that is the Jolt family attribute, which, if you can see here, duration of beneficial effects is increased from 1.5 to 3%. Now 3% is going to be difficult, so let's say the middle ground is 2%. So if we have 2% in all of the 8 pieces of primary gear here, your beneficial duration is increased by 16%. That is already half of the Vitus set. Now I can live with that as long as I can get all the damage attributes from the selected gear sets that I am using right now. Some would say the new set offers more if you have more pieces available, but I beg to differ because if you have 6 pieces of the new set, the problem is the duration or the cooldown before it happens again. Here, it needs 40 seconds. So 40 seconds in the battlefield or while you are farming is very long. That's why I didn't opt to use 6 pieces for this one. I chose only 2 sets because there's no duration practically. You can continually have that additional damage. And why you didn't choose 4 pieces for this new set? Again, here it says after you stop channeling a skill, enemies hit by it take an additional explosion of 30% from the damage that you deal to the enemy. But 30% is not much, guys. Whereas if you do Whirlwind while using the Sundered Legacy, obviously the crit damage is always going to be 100%. So you're getting that maximum damage. So that's why I still stick with the 2-piece Seeds of the Sown Gold. Going to the other set, why I didn't take the 6 pieces Banquet of Ice. Again, for the 6 pieces, I didn't go for it because of the duration, which is 40 seconds. 40 seconds, again, is a very, very long time to wait before it procs again. I didn't go with the 4 pieces because if you're a Barbarian and you depend on your Whirlwind, you don't need the critical hit chances, because every time you do Whirlwind with your Sundered Legacy, there's always going to be 100% critical damage. That's why I don't need the 4 pieces. Now for the Grace of the Flagellant, why I didn't go for 6 pieces, again, same thing. The cooldown takes 40 seconds, it's very long, and if I have 4 pieces, I get each time you damage an individual enemy 5 times, you will do 8,000 additional damage. I think hitting the enemy on the 3rd time, the enemy is already probably dead, so that's why it's not practical to use 4 pieces Grace of the Flagellant. Now others would say why I didn't use Gloom Guide's Prize. Again, I'm not a big fan of Gloom Guide's Prize because look at the condition on how you get your additional 15% damage. You have to do a dash skill and it only lasts for 3 seconds. For me, again, this is not the best gear to get damage increase. There's one more item here that gives additional damage, which is from Shal Boss. I didn't use this because again, this prioritizes more on primary attacks, which the Barbarian doesn't usually do. So that's the gear set that I'm going with. Before we test out the secondary gear, I do want to share first my stats for my Barbarian. So my resonance is 1650. This resonance is very much achievable if you're a free-to-play player. Now for my damage, I have 13,500. For my life, I have 1,680,000. For my combat rating, it's actually 20,000 or more, a little bit more. But when I use the sets that I'm using, it went down to 19,994. So just 6 more combat rating and it's 20,000. And another stat that you need to look at when you see builds is their critical hit damage, especially if you're a Barbarian, because this one modifies the critical damage output. The attributes from my primary gear are not yet triple stats. I'm just merely using it to increase my combat rating to get through the Inferno levels. Let's proceed with the next part of the video, and that is testing the secondary gear with the primary gear. Let's go! First mob, I'm seeing a lot of 38, 37, 73, 69,000, 70,000, 65,000. I'm definitely enjoying the damage output I'm seeing right now with the Barb. If you combine correctly the secondary gear sets and their attributes, it can really benefit your character. You saw it in my previous video. If you compare it with this one, the damage output is totally insane for this Sanguine build. I even added a short clip when I was doing a ball run in Inferno level 1, and I'm definitely still happy about the damage output that I'm getting from this secondary gear combination. It really complements the Sanguine build, guys. That's it for today, guys, and if you have any feedbacks, please leave your comments down below. And if you want to help support this channel and make this channel grow, please hit the subscribe and bell icon to be notified. And as always, have a blessed day ahead. Bye!